Hello everybody. How you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing great. Please let me know in the chat or give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear me well. Yeah, you guys can hear me well. Very good. Yes, perfect. Thank you. All right, so let's start. Thank you all for giving yourself permission to be here today. I really appreciate it. Let's jump in right away. The key moment that holds your entire suffering of your life is called womb. Womb. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things, and let me share my screen really quick with you and be very hold on a second here. Where's my screen? Oh, I know what happened with my screen. Is somewhere else my screen. Hold on a sec. For whatever reason is share, stop sharing. There it is. All right, sorry about that. Some technical difficulties. Here it is. All right. And this goes here. Perfect. All right, I'm gonna be able to share it now. I hope you guys are having a good time, and let's have fun today knowing stuff that happens to us during the time that we were at the womb. So remember the rules. You guys can start putting your questions. If you have any questions, we're gonna go over the questions at the very end. If you have any, just put it in the chat. Francesca is going to be able to capture them, and then we're going to go over if you have any questions. And we're not going to be completely interactive today. I want to share all this info first with you, and at the very end, again, you're going to be able to we can go over the questions. Okay, so let's start. And this webinar is called Womb, as you guys noticed, the moment that holds the key to your suffering. So let me tell you what we're going to be covering today. We're going to be covering why your energetics dictate your behavior. Okay, we're going to know what the energetics are for those that doesn't know. For those that has been in some of my classes before, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. But we're going to go over a couple things with that today. Why is that a specific feeling that you have sometimes in life about being stuck, or you have difficult emotions, and when it means that you need to heal and what it means that you need to reprogram? We're going to go over all those things. We are going to also be talking about the number one reason why people don't fully heal. Is very important to know, and heal and reprogram what happened in the womb. So we're going to be able to be more aware of what is the real things that we need to reprogram and to heal from whatever we get during the time that we were in our mother's womb. And also we're going to talk about discovering your soul contract that you made before born. If you believe that you have a soul and you landed in your body that you have today, if you believe that, this information is going to be very helpful for you. If you don't believe that, this information is going to be very helpful for you too. Why? Because it's going to give you a very good idea of how things works, or at least you're going to be able to see some type of patterns that are happening in your life that actually been programmed during the time that you were there. Okay, and of course, how I'm going to be sharing with you how to correct what is the tools or the way that you can correct all these issues. All right, so let's go now in what I discovered. Let me tell you when this happened. And some of you might hear this story before. I was just 13 years old when I discovered that I wasn't feeling well. And I was very depressed and was a very depressive kid. And anyways, during that time, I have this weird feeling and that I didn't know exactly what it was. I just can tell you that I was feeling angry, but then with the time in my life, when you start noticing like, are you really angry? And that was more than anger. And I discovered that I was having hate. I have hate in my heart. And I was very confused during the time because I didn't know what it really was, that, and the way that it made me feel, and why I'm having that. So I discovered with the time that I hated my mom. My mother was a very abusive mother, and I have to go through a lot of trauma. And I was different since little. I was different, and probably that's why she was like that with me. At least at that point, from my point of view, I think that she didn't know how to handle me or how to control me. So anyways, to make this story short, I was ready to leave this earth. I just didn't want to be here. I didn't fit anywhere. I wasn't able to relate to anybody. I wasn't accepted in my family fully. In the school, the teachers, since 7 years old, they used to tell my mom that I was retarded. That was the word that they used it, and many things like that. So I got tired, and I wanted to quit. And the good news is, actually, when I tried to quit, I took vitamins instead of other pills. So instead of probably doing a harm for me, other than being yellow for a few days, I think that awoke me into feel better during that time. But anyways, that day it created a very special time for me. And the reason why it created a very special time for me is because what I didn't know that I was doing is called nowadays it's called channeling. And with that channeling, I channel what today is an entire healing and reprogramming program. And I've been using it my entire life, not just with me, but over, Jesus Christ, I have over 50, 60,000 sessions with clients my entire career, and for over 30 years working on this healing and reprogramming. And a lot of people, they don't know that much about me, because as you might notice later, I am the person that normally everybody finds me when they try everything. So it's like I'm the last chance or the last resort, something like that. That's my type of client that normally comes to me. But anyways, I will go into deeper into that later. So what I discovered was this. So one of the methods that, one of the things that I discovered during that time that I was channeling, I applied to me. It's called womb regression. I call it womb regression. So I applied the womb regression to myself, and into that, I didn't pay attention the first time, but there was this specific moment during the regression that I found something about my mother that I didn't know. And then later I was able to actually corroborate with her, because I asked her, because I had this feeling during the process. So I was able to talk to her during that time. I asked her if something happened to her that I felt, and it was right. I was completely right. There is something during the process that really made me feel in a specific way, but I knew that it was not me. So it was her, something that actually happened to her. It's crazy to think that I knew that she got a miscarriage before, and she was so afraid. And that was the situation that I felt. It's crazy to think, because I felt the miscarriage. And I felt that, not that I miscarriage, but I felt it. It's like I supposed to come here before, but I didn't. So what I didn't know, and what she told me, is that my grandmother gave her a beverage because she didn't want her to have kids with my father. That's how mean it was. So anyways, to make this story short, I felt it, but I felt it during my own personal process. So then with the time, I started using this same process to start helping people. I started with AA in Mexico, and then when I get to the United States, I start applying it to many different people. Nowadays it's an entire program, but during all these years, I've been using it in different people, and here is what I discovered. I discovered that when you're at the womb, there is this precise, no moments. There are precise moments that actually are going to define, that there are the key to your suffering, that are going to define how you suffer. And then I thought like, you know what? A lot of people suffer more than others, but everybody suffers. Do you guys agree? If you guys agree, put it in the chat. We'll go back there, okay? So you guys agree, some people suffer more than others from so many different things, right? But the craziest part is that you might think like, well, Arturo, I don't have a lot of suffering, right? I don't have a lot of suffering. You know, my life is kind of okay. I just have other type of different problems. And then when I help the client to see the way that they suffer, and then when we go into the regression or get into the womb and we get the extraction of that precise moment, I said, okay, I know exactly what's happening to you. You're suffering, you don't see it like that because you've been programmed to don't see that as a suffering, but it's really affecting you in these other ways. And this was set up during the time that you were in the womb at this precise moment when you have this feeling. And that's when they're like a holy, right? Am I allowed to say bad words? Is that okay? Holy shit. I said that. Holy crap. So I continue doing it. So I keep discovering that it's not just the first time that you do a regression. It's not the first time that you use the process. I've been discovering that every time that you use the process is allowing us to discover those moments. And once that you start discovering those moments, guess what starts happening? The person start regaining more balance in their lives in every area. So there is not just something that you discover, but it's also a progressive thing that helps you to regain balance. And why balance is very important? Well, it's very important because you can be in the extremes all the time. You can try to be super rich, super happy, super everything, but you're going to have to go to the other extreme. But when you have a life of balance, what happens? You are able to enjoy life more. So that's what I discover. I discover that there is some key moments, and in order to do that, you need to be able to go back in time, to have a specific way to relax the brain and get to that precise moment. Extract is a moment, it's just a moment. Extract a feeling that is going to have a meaning for and that specific way that you're going to be suffering in your life. Let me give you an idea. A lot of people think that needs to be a bad feeling. Not necessarily. For example, a lot of people, when I take them back into the womb, they said, I feel warm, for example. You know, they just feel warm and welcome, right? So, all right, yes, during those times, we know what was happening to our mother during that time. It's not necessarily with us. I would say that by nature, all of our mothers, they love us right there. But some of us, we might have different experiences with our mother. Some of you might have a different and harder relationship with your mothers, and that is going to impact your entire life, believe it or not. We're going to go into the genes, and we're going to go into that a little bit further. But what it does, this thing does, is like, you might think like, okay, how that moment that you feel warm and welcome will be the key for my type of suffering. Well, guess what? For some people, that moment will define the way that they suffer when they're being triggered by the feeling of being welcome, believe it or not. Now, you have questions about it, just start writing right there. You know, just ask your questions. Remember, we're going to go at the very end, we're going to go after those questions, but start making your questions so you don't forget during the precise time. So how is this possible that if I'm feeling warm and welcome, that is the actual moment that is going to define the way that I'm going to suffer? Well, believe it or not, it is. It will define, like, probably instead of suffering because somebody is going to be that is going to be very bad with you or mean with you, you might start suffering every time that somebody triggers that make you feel warm and welcome. You might think that, Arturo, that doesn't make sense. Trust me, that's what I thought in the beginning until I see what is really affecting the people. Okay? So, your programs. See, I call these, did you sign the contract? Because I'm going to share with you three main programs. Number one, you need to understand that your soul was programmed in a way. So that is called consciousness, right? If you believe in reincarnation, or if you believe that you have past lives or anything like that, even if you don't believe, just think for a moment, just give yourself permission to think for a moment that probably there is something that happened to you before, or at least that you are connecting to a collective consciousness that is giving you the feeling that you have a past life or something like that. This is called soul programming. So it means that whatever happened in a past life, you are bringing it with your soul to continue growing, because at the end, the only thing that the soul wants is to grow, is to create more consciousness, is to keep expanding, just like the universe. The principle of the universe is expansion. Your soul has the programming that will bring into your life lessons. Like, for example, let me give an example about this. I have many cases where in the soul I discovered that a kid, for example, because this is for everybody, this is even for kids. I have kids that I help with, even with a womb regression or something, that nowadays they're very nice kids, that they have better goals, that are better people, and they used to be a little menace before. So what this does, guys, is that your soul brings that programming, and then you have something that is called the genes, the body and the program, right? So the genes, they're going to manage what your program in your body is, but your soul is going to bring that. So let's pretend that I have a kid, 8 years old, that is a big problem. He cannot focus, he cannot do things at the school, or even you as an adult, it's the same thing, right? And then you see your genes, and there is something, a pattern or something that you keep repeating that doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense. The more that you try and you cannot get rid of it, you try psychology, you try psychiatry, you try drugs, you try the shaman, you try ayahuasca, mushrooms, and you try everything. And the truth is that probably you have a past life that has to do with a life lesson on hanging people, right? So you have a past life that shows that you hang people. That means, metaphorically speaking, it means that you have some type of guilt, right? So, but let's pretend that the genes from your mother and from your father that are programmed in your body has nothing to do with guilt. And 4 generations in that family, nobody has those type of problems with guilt. Well, guess what? You're going to be the first one, because your soul needs to go through that. So that is going to bring your soul programming, is going to be integrated with your soul programming, which is your genes from your mother and the genes from your father. Make sense? The genes from your mother, the genes from your father, which means the traits, the behaviors, the habits that you're going to start having. And the last one would be what I call the influences. So is the new programs, how the world is going to influence you, how your interactions, how your experiences, and all these 3 are going to determine. The soul programming is the first step to define your personality. The genes from your body and your mother is going to finalize determining the type of personality that you're going to have. Those 2 things interacts and comes back and forth. That's why a lot of kids that's supposed to be from the genes of mother and father have a mix of those 2, but then they develop a total different personality than anybody on the family. That is the soul. The soul is being in charge of bringing that other part for your personality. And then influences, which I call the new programs, they're going to define your new personality, how you're going to be redefining every time more and more your personality, which means this is with the purpose of you creating character for yourself. Character for what? Character to how to handle your life, how to handle your emotions. Do you guys agree that nowadays, if you're not as strong, and if you don't have character, and if you don't know how to handle your emotions, guess what happened? You start having problems. How many of you like problems? If you like problems, put it in the chat. Arturo, I like problems. That would be funny. But, well, not that funny in reality, right? But that's what it is. So this is gonna shape you. All this is gonna become programs that have been already inserted on you, and then new programs that will continue going, if that makes sense. See? So I put it, did you sign the contract? Because guess what? Yes, you did. For your soul programming merged with your genes and your body from your parents, yes, you signed the contract. The one that you didn't sign for is the influences. Why? Because in the influences and the new programs, we're having the new things like, for example, your friends or a person that suddenly they like or they dislike your energy. They come and mess you up for whatever reason, right? A lot of people call it accident. They did it by accident. There is no effing accidents sometimes. They just like to mess with you. And that is going to create and reshape you in a way, but everything is going to be happening simultaneous. It's going to be connected. Make sense? If you remember, if you have any questions about this, just put it in the chat. Who's this creature? This guy right there. Well, all right, me. I said creature because I know that a lot of people creature isn't like an animal or something. Well, it all depends. A lot of my clients call me magical creature, or there's extraterrestrial creature, because I work a little bit different. All my methods are a little bit unconventional, and I guess that the best way to describe the type of work that I do is that I do things not just in the very unconventional way, but I mix science with spirituality and logic and intuition and everything. Plus, I have a gift now. Is during this time I understand that yes, I have a gift, and I just discovered like 5, 6, 7 years ago that the gift is part of my gift is also in my eyes. And it's not just something that is in my mind. But I'll explain that in another time. So for over 30 years, I've been working in healing and reprogramming. I started my process since I was a kid. I wasn't the actual normal kid. I was the kid that I was challenging people, that I ask questions, that I stand up for myself and I stand up for others. I was able to see in a very conscious way what it was right, what it was wrong, and I was totally different person. At this point, I've been helping thousands of people. I have people, I have clients all over the world, in Russia, in Saudi Arabia, in Argentina, in every different parts of the world. And how they found me, I have no freaking idea, because normally, if you notice, I never promote myself. So everything been in a word of mouth. So I think that I can say, somebody said that one day, I said that I know my shit. I think that now I understand and I accept that I know my shit. Anyways, so excuse my French. So anyways, let's continue. Why your energetics dictate your behavior. So if you're familiar with energetics, energetics is the behavior of your energy, very much. So if you are angry, that is energy. And your energetics is going to be the behavior, the way that you're going to be behaving in the way that you project or transfer that energy of that anger to other people, if that makes sense. Those are your energetics. Your energetics are the ones that are going to be defining. They're going to be defining the way that you move, the way that you speak, the way that you attract or repel things, situations, and people in your life, if that makes sense. Those are your energetics. So in less words, your energetics are magnetism. And that magnetism is the one that is going to start bringing to your life good people, good situations, bad situations. That's what it is. So let's talk a little bit about imprints. And a lot of people think that imprint is just something that you print on a shirt. Well, it's pretty much the same, but in this case, it's in your body, it's in your soul, it's everywhere in you. Imprints. So what are imprints? I call imprints a recording mechanism that of human life experience. So this is the way that we record life, okay? This is the way that you record life. And it's the same exactly mechanism, but I divide it in two. One is imprints can give you a good and a bad experiences. So it's the same recording mechanism, sometimes recording good stuff, sometimes recording bad stuff, right? So for example, good imprints equals a good memories and programming, right? Good programming. So you have good memories from your childhood, you have good memories from yesterday, you have good memories from today, earlier. Those are good imprints. They allocate where? Everywhere in your body. Yes, it allocates not just in your brain, it allocates in other parts of your body. For example, a good imprint could be a good memory of something, and certainly when it happened to you, allocate that in your right hand. So sometimes when you touch your right hand, or when somebody touches it, or something that has to do with your right hand, it might trigger that memory. So you're gonna have that good imprint, giving you the sense of, oh, very nice, that was nice, right? That was nice. Give me a sec here. And of course, bad imprints equals trauma, equals bad programming, fears, fears, stress, anxiety, problems, etc. That's what bad imprints are. So trauma is part of that mechanism. Trauma is gonna be that recording or that effect. Now, we call it trauma because normally is with that negative connotation, but in reality, a trauma is an imprint. So in nature or in reality, could be a good trauma too, which could be the good memory. Does this make sense? But anyways, we use the word trauma because normally describe the negative bad imprint, which is the bad programming, the fears, the stress, anxiety, problems, etc. That's pretty much what it is. So your energetics, let's recap really quick, dictate your behavior, and that creates your magnetism to attract people or reject people, to attract certain situations or reject certain situations. Let me give you an example. An imprint in your body, your mind, your soul, in your entire simultaneous happening of your life can be making you reject, for example, money. A lot of people would like to be prosperous. How many of you would like to be prosperous? Or more prosperous of what you already are, right? But what if you have an imprint that dictates to you that you need to reject prosperity? I have a lot of clients that they come to me with that problem because they are afraid to success. Because fear of failure or whatever fear they have, it doesn't really matter. Of course, whatever fear is connected to that, of course, we can find out that fear that was as an imprint at the time that you were at the womb. Does this make sense? So once that we correct this, well, guess what? The people has no problem to accept prosperity. So sometimes we think that we know what's going on with ourselves until you look at your life and you're like, F, what is happening? Or what did happen, right? And when did this happen, right? Sometimes things happen in your life that you're not even aware until later on when the problem happened, going through divorce, losing a person in your life, losing your job, or every time that you lose something, you go through the process, and it is after when you actually, yes or no, is when you actually start thinking like, wait a second, what the fuck happened, right? I supposed to not say many bad words today, so I'm down to less now. Make sense, guys? So imprints, and this is a crazy thing that I discovered also with imprints in all my life work. What I discovered about the imprints is imprints link with each other, and they interact and survive the setup program as a safe mechanism. Let me give you an idea of what I mean with this, okay? Let's pretend that when you were little, your mother told you that you were ugly, okay? And that gets as an imprint. That imprint that came as a thought, because she said those words, and then you created a thought from those words. Then those thoughts might create a self-image of yourself, seeing yourself like, oh, I'm ugly, right? So, well, does that stop right there? No, that thought needs to be somewhere, because it needs to give you a feeling. It might go to your throat and gives you throat problems later. You can get ill from your throat later. How many of you used to get very ill from your throat? And probably you didn't know that was because you're processing some type of sadness. How many of you? Put it in the chat if you want to share that. See? So it can happen like that. It can go to your liver. It can go to your toe. It can go to your pinky. It can go to your colon. And later on in life can probably push you to have colon cancer or something like that. Anyways, the imprint, remember, she's going to say something. Sometimes she doesn't need to even say anything. Sometimes she just needs to look at you like with a bad look, right? And you're going to create a thought. The thought is going to go into any part of your body, and it's going to create a link between that part of your body and your nerve system. See, I've been having a lot of clients that they go through all these classes and healings about the nerve system. That's not enough. It is not enough. You need to find where the other imprint is, and there is a way to find it. Trust me. I've been doing it for a lot of people, for myself. I've been achieving a very, very good balanced life, very happy life. And lately, and when I said lately, it's like probably for the last, I don't know, 10 years, 20 years of my life, even more, I don't even remember. Life is better, just gets better. You get better and everything gets better. So, but it creates a connection. Now, here's the problem. That imprint that, let's pretend that is in your pinky, okay? Let's pretend that is in your pinky, is connected to your nerve system, and it's connected into a cell or neuron in a part of your brain. Now, because this imprint needs to interact with other imprints, let's pretend that there is another imprint where your father told you that you smell bad, okay? So then you're ugly plus you smell bad, they as imprints interact and they make a deal like, okay, how can we survive? Okay, imagine imprints talking, right? Like, okay, so if he or she discovers how to get rid of me, but you're here as a backup. So even if it's gonna change the way that I interact with the person, if something happened, you can kick in and bring the memory of this, so we can keep creating the same problem, which is not a problem. In reality, imprints are just here because they try to create at subconscious level to create safe zones for you, you know, like a comfort zones. See, a comfort zone, which is not really comfortable, can be representing something bad that is happening, but it's going to continue happening to you. It's going to keep happening to you because it's the best way to, at least you know how it feels already. And that is more safe, it's safer than trying something new. Guys, does this make sense? See, the problem and what I discovered in my work that probably makes me completely set me apart from most of the work over there is that I was able to discover how in the hell you do healings of many different types, and a lot of people after some time they come back having the same problems. Make sense? We need to understand that healing is a ongoing process, and if you don't reprogram what you heal, well, guess what? It's not done. It's not gonna get better. And I'm telling you this because, again, if you don't know me, you need to understand something about my work. In all these years and years and years that I've been doing my work, most of my clientele, probably 98 to 99% of my clientele, they try everything. The other probably 1 or 2% is they bring in their kids, and of course as a kids they didn't go through a lot of experiences in their life, which make it easy. In my work, when I help a kid, it makes the kid's life easier because you can reprogram faster, you can heal faster, you can modify that. So, and that's the other reason. Somebody asked me a long time ago, like, Arturo, why you don't have a lot of, like, you don't push a lot your testimonials and all these words from people. I do some. Actually, I don't do that. Some people does that for me because I don't keep track of anything, but I don't push that because the truth is that a lot of my clients, probably 99% of them, this is a very private thing, you know? And I'm not a marketer, by the way, but I can tell you that I am 100% into really help people. And I've been far and beyond to really recognize and figure out how the hell imprints that are affecting you, they're connected with the other imprints. If one of them fails, the other one will kick in. So I figure out how to start neutralizing and knowing where all these imprints are actually in your body. Believe it or not, it is possible. So let's talk really quick about something. You need to, and remember, you have questions, just put it right there. Stuck or difficult emotions, heal and reprogram. So it's very important that you guys need to learn how to, when do you really need healing and when you really need to reprogram. Reprogram normally is when you find a healing, you can reprogram. Can you reprogram if you don't need healing? Yes, you can, because you can program or reprogram for the future. You want to achieve things, like you want to achieve a better body, or being smarter, or better memory, or better focus. If you have a lack of focus, if you cannot concentrate very well, yes, you can do reprogramming or programming for to help you to do that. So it's not exactly simple, but in a way it's kind of simple. Every time that you have the feeling of being stuck, have you ever feel like that? Have you ever feel like that? Put in the chat if you ever feel stuck. If you ever feel stuck, it's just something telling you. Your body is already telling you that there is something that you need to heal, period. If you feel stuck, your body, your mind is telling you that there is something that you need to heal. That's why I put the stuck equals healing. Now, can I keep moving forward in a way if I stuck with something that I need to heal, but I don't heal it? And then I figure out how to move forward. Yes, you can. But then it's going to come back, and it's going to come back worse. So what is the key to keep moving forward? Right away, when you feel stuck, you need to have direction. You need to vision, and you need to determine a goal or something that moves you into the future. Not into the present, not into the past, into the future. And that will keep you moving forward. It will not heal the issue, and the issue will resurface. Is this clear? I'm just saying this because a lot of people think like, okay, give me the key to keep moving forward. I said vision of the future. Direction. You need to have a direction. You will start moving, you will expand, you will be able to adapt, and you will be able to achieve. But it will come back if you don't heal it. So every time, one more time, every time that you feel stuck, you really need to pay attention what it is, because it needs to be healed. Can you move forward and identify what you need to heal and then start the process of healing? Yes, you can. All right? Repetitive patterns and habits are equals reprogramming. So when you notice that you have bad habits or some type of habits or repetitive patterns or something that you're doing subconsciously speaking, a behavior that you have subconsciously speaking, that is not necessarily something that needs to be healed, but it's something that could use reprogramming. Let me give you a funny example of this might sound that is not true, but trust me, I've seen it all in my work. That's why I said it's very private for clients that come with so many different problems, from a smell in the crotch to everything else. Just you can imagine every type of case that I've seen in my entire life. So, for example, there was this teenager that when they came to me with the mom, she said that he needed help. So I said, what he needs help with? And she said, he scratched his butt all the time. I'm like, what? And like, yeah, he scratched his butt all the time. I'm like, so I asked the kid, like, do you really scratch your butt all the time? And he's like, yes, I do. And I said, okay, do you know why you scratch your butt all the time? He says, no. She was doing it unconsciously. It was right there. So for me, that shows some type of anxiety, which will reveal probably some type of healing that is needed, or something that he was programmed with at some point. So he created this association of scratching with his butt with something. So I have a couple sessions with him. I created reprogramming, and within 3 weeks, kind of, the repro kicked in, and he stopped scratching his butt. And the mom didn't believe it, because she took it to the counselor, psychologist. They tried to give him like a medication to calm, all these things. So anyways, repetitive patterns and habits are mostly in the area of reprogramming. So I wanted to share this with you so you can reconsider and start paying attention. Okay, what is going on with me? Well, what is going on is, if you feel stuck, your body, your mind, your soul is trying to tell you something needs to be healed. If it's a habit, we need to figure out, is something that needs to be healed and reprogrammed, or it's just a simple reprogram that needs to be done. Does this make sense? So remember, you have questions, put it right there. Now, if you're watching this not live, but it's on demand for whatever reason, you can send us an email directly and we will respond to you, or you can just contact us and we will give you a response. Okay? We love to respond questions. All right? So the number one reason why people don't heal is, in my experience, the number one reason why people don't fully heal when they try whatever they try is because they don't know whatever method they're using, whatever technique they're using, whatever anything they're getting, they're not taking in consideration that a lot of the healing process that we have is connected in a defense mechanism, okay? A defense mechanism. So the ego and the defense mechanism are active, okay? So some people, sometimes they don't fully heal because they're not ready, okay? They have their defense mechanism and their ego are active, and guess what? They're not ready because of fear, because of they've been programmed, because of so many different things, but they're not ready. That's the reason why I develop, sometimes with some of my clients, I develop a way to get them to get ready for healing. So they're suffering, they're having the problems, but they're not ready to heal fully. So instead of me trying to do any healings for them, guess what I do? I get them into this process to get them to get to the point that says, okay, it's time for me to fully heal. And that's what we do. So I'm saying this because I guarantee you that not everybody that are healers out there are actually taking this in consideration. And I'm not talking crap about anybody, but you know what? A lot of my clients, believe it or not, a lot of my clients are actually healers. And they come to me because they're having issues, they're having problems. And they're having problems with the way that they are teaching or healing other people. In a matter of fact, some of them are actually taking my classes and learning my methods, and they're doing very well. Am I saying, I'm not bragging, but am I saying that my method is better? I would say that my method is very complete. I don't know if it's better because I don't know every method on the world, to be very realistic, but I can tell you that I know that it's very extensive, very comprehensive, and we're making it better every time. So some people knows all, right? Some people, because they're not ready, they feel that they know everything, they're not open to actually heal. And they're the ones that holds a lot in their hearts. They're holding a lot of different emotions in their body. And some people, they were programmed to not to heal because they were programmed to not to care about themselves. Does this sound familiar? Probably. Let me tell you, I like to be humble. At some point in my life, it was like, I don't know, in my 20s, I used to believe that I knew a lot of stuff. Not that I knew all, but I was kind of in that, falling in that category. Grandma or somebody told me this and this and this, and I'm like, oh yeah. No, I know. And I closed my mind, you know? And at some point in my life, I noticed also that I was programmed about not to care about myself, especially about my physical body. I was taking care of my mind, I was taking care of my spirit, I was not taking care of my body. In a matter of fact, this is the first time in my life from a few years ago to now. I started probably like 8-9 years ago to start working out, and I couldn't do it because I got injured. I didn't know how to work out, and I injured myself. I have an injury in the knees for years and years and years, and believe it or not, just a few months ago, I got somebody that helped me to correct the problem, and I'm getting much better. So I'm getting to work out, I'm taking care of my body, I'm taking care of my food, I'm taking care, because I was not aware, because I was programmed not to take care of my body. Does this make sense, guys? So remember, if you have questions, just put it right there. So, heal and reprogram what happened in the womb. Why is it important to heal and reprogram what happened in the womb? Because if you have it's simple. If you want to have a more balanced and better life, and I mean overall, I'm not a very specific guy. I'm not a niche guy. You need to understand this. For those that work with me, you guys know that my range of market is so different. I have 96 years old people coming to see me. I have 6, 4, 8 years old kids to come to see me. I have teenagers. I have young people in 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. I have a big range because I've been helping so many people. It's not that I do it all. No, it's that what I do fits everybody, because these are principles. I'm not talking about like I can tell you, for example, how to manage better your relationships. Okay, yes, I can tell you that, but if you don't heal and reprogram certain things, it's not going to happen. Learning techniques it's not going to just do the job. Does this make sense? See, you need to be able to heal and reprogram what happened on the womb. And trust me, the process that I do, it really helps you to identify that. It helps you to identify from your patterns, habits, luck. What about luck? Do you guys believe in good luck or bad luck? Some of you might believe in both, right? Sometimes we have good luck, sometimes we have bad luck. If you believe in that, guess what? is not just necessarily luck. It's a vibration that you have that was imprinted right there for you to attract more good luck or attract more bad luck. And you can attract good luck in money, but you can attract bad luck in relationships, or vice versa. Does this make sense, guys? So it is important to reprogram what happened in the womb. So anyways, I know that we're moving fast because I don't want to take a lot of time from you, but I want you to be able to share certain things that you need to be aware if you really want to do better in life, and if you're going to be serious about doing it. Because guess what? I discovered a long time ago, even with my clients in my work and with myself, that if I am not serious about what I'm doing with myself, what I'm learning, what I'm speaking, what I'm thinking, what I'm eating, well, that is going to have repercussions. And a lot of people, I don't think that everybody is exempt to this, is a lot of people are going to suffer one way or the other. You're going to suffer in relationships, you're going to suffer in money, in business, in work, in life. You might suffer from anxieties, you might suffer from depression, you might suffer from a nerve system all crazy. What's the other thing that happened a lot to people? Panic attacks. Jesus Christ, it's just negativity. Some of you, how many of you, guys, how many of you believe that, in a way, I'm not going to sound crazy, right? Like, we're not alone, right? We are not alone. A lot of you might feel that, hey, why am I having a sleep paralysis? Wait a second. The medicine says that a sleep paralysis has to do with probably a possible mental illness or something that is wrong with me. Wait a second. So means that everybody in the world is mentally ill, or have some type of problems? No. This is also in the spiritual world, is also some type of energetics, some type of energies, right? So many of you know that. And nowadays, actually, science helps you to understand that physics are direct connected to a spirit, spiritual stuff. A spiritual, it just means subatomic level, reality, human reality means atomic level. That's what it means. Now, let's talk about soul contract. The soul contract that you made before birth. What is this? What is a soul contract? A lot of people might know already what is a soul contract. It's like an actual contract that you sign in order to come to this body that you own now, or that you borrow for whatever period of time is your time. It's a countdown. So some people has 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, 80 years, 100 years, whatever time is your contract with that body, to use that body as a vehicle to get you into new experiences and all these things. Here's the problem. When we're talking about suffering, and when we are at the womb, our mother creates the imprints, combining the genes from your mother and the genes from your father and everything else that been going through that family, for you to trigger your life lessons, because your soul signed a contract with the soul of your father and the mother to be them, the one that are going to have sex for you to become a baby. That's what happened, right? They have sex, right? I remember when I told my mom, I think that I was 8 years old, or probably 6. Shit, I think that I was 6. They're explaining other kids that the stork brings the kids and all that thing. And I was like, no, you have sex with my dad. That's what happened. So anyways, some kids will think of things more than others. But your soul have that contract with those two souls to know that they're going to be together at the precise moment that you're going to land, and you're going to have those genes that they're going to trigger your behavior, that they're going to trigger your energetics, that they're gonna trigger that you attract certain type of people to your life. Your husband, your wife, your pet, your type of clothes, your car, everything is coming from the magnetism, the law of attraction, the law of distraction, and the law of rejection from the law of compensation. How everything needs to be compensated in order for you to make your soul to grow. That's what we're doing, making their soul to grow. I always explain in my classes to people that your soul is like a balloon, right? Your soul is like a balloon. You come into a human experience to make that balloon to get more inflated. So you have enough light to go back home or go into in a waiting time or go to not a good place, right? So I just invite you to think, to just to see it. You don't have to believe that anything needs to be. In a matter of fact, humans, we can believe whatever the F we want. Now, in physics or in when we leave the body, when we become energy, just think for a moment, where the heck we go? Do we go to the city of the fog, or we go to the light, or we're just right there sitting in a bench thinking like I messed up, I need to make a contract. Hey, can I make a contract? Are you guys gonna have sex? Can I make a contract with you? Can I come as a woman, as a girl, as a boy? What should I come like? Do you guys want to do it? I'm just waiting for you to come back again and try again. See, because like a balloon, it will grow or it will shrink too. Depends of what you're doing with your life. Are you having life experiences? You know, you can be spiritual. I agree with being spiritual. I've been very spiritual my entire life. And you can be whatever religion you want. Every religion is spiritual too. See, this is not about religion or politics or anything like that. This is about you in a human form, a matter, and also in a soul form, which is energy. Does this make sense? All right. So your soul contract, can you know what your soul contract is? Yes. There is a method to know what your soul contract is. In a matter of fact, there is a great book that is kind of, expensive, because in reality, the only thing that you're going to get from the book is one page. But it's a book probably 600-700 pages. And if you don't want to buy the book, probably you can ask us, and we can figure out how to send you a picture or probably. But anyways, I'm going to give you the name of the book. It's called The Secret Language of Destiny. It's a book that any metaphysical teacher, any metaphysical store, any metaphysical guide will actually recommend you to take a look, because it will give you an idea what your destiny, and your destiny is direct connected 100% with your soul. Now, if you want to get more in deep with that, probably you want to do our session with me or something, and I will help you with that. Does this make sense? Any questions about your soul contract, just put it right there and we'll go back there. All right, let's continue. How to correct and balance your life. And that's the reason why I wanted to do this short webinar today, is because other than sharing with you and bringing consciousness and for you to know that there is a way to get much better, that there is a way to know what happened in the womb, that there is a way that you can be determining those moments that are triggering your suffering and be conscious about it. There is an actual process. It's an actual process that I'm going to be teaching, and that I'm going to be doing for a lot of people. I've been doing it actually if you don't know that much about my work, I invite you to check out my work. I have a little app also at the App Store, and Google Play. It's called, the name of the app is Arturo, so you can see how I speak, how I teach, other than this. And they have some reprogramming meditations. It's called Transmutation Meditation Challenge that I have there in case that you don't have it. But you need to heal and reprogram. That's what you need to do. If you've been suffering, if some things are difficult in life, or if you didn't achieve fulfillment in your life fully, probably this is your way. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna invite you guys to actually, in the next 48 hours, you can schedule for your qualifying session for free. I told Francesca, I told people that I'm gonna be offering in the next 48 hours. You don't have to do your session, but I'm offering in the next 40 hours that the session is gonna be for free. So what it's gonna do in that session, we're gonna know if you can really qualify for using the tools that I'm telling you, right? So in order to do this, what I need you to do is you're gonna go to arturogaitan.com, to my website, arturogaitan.com. You're gonna put /womb2. And inside of that page, there is gonna be a form where I ask you a questions for me to be able to see if you are gonna be open to qualify to do some work. And if you don't, you might qualify to get just some information that will help you, because guess what? Not everybody needs everything. Not everybody needs the same thing. Do you guys agree? So put it right there, arturogaitan.com /womb2. Francesca, if you're hearing me, just go ahead and put in the chat that as a link, that information, so people can have it as a link. And if you wanna take advantage of that session that I'm gonna be doing, just schedule yours in the next 48 hours. And also, if you feel more comfortable, well, anyways, I really recommend you to go and fill out this form. This is gonna have some questions about what you tried before, things that you've been doing, but also you can directly text Francesca. I'm gonna give Francesca's phone number right here. So you can text her if you're interested in to know a little bit more information about how to actually heal and reprogram, and how this works, about getting and extracting that information. And I'll get back to the questions. I'll get back, I'm gonna give her phone number is 760. You can reach her at 760-410-9182. 760-410-9182. Francesca put it in the chat for everybody to have it, but it's very important that you go to arturogaitan.com /womb, WOMB2, number 2, and fill up that. It's just a form that let us know where you are and what we would recommend you. And if we can see if you really need help or not, or if you really would like to achieve something different. Does this make sense, guys? Let me stop my sharing here really quick, and so I can be in full screen right here. So let me get into the Francesca, do we have questions?
Yes, we have quite a few here. So let me start at the very top, and I'm just going to read them as I go along here.
Okay, we're going to go very fast, okay? I'm not going to entertain you for the next 24 hours.
Okay, here we go.
Just kidding.
First question is, curious as a mom, what worked to help you as a kid to navigate being a seer/medium?
Repeat the entire thing again.
Curious as a mom, what worked to help you as a kid to navigate being a seer/medium?
I want to say something that it might sound funny, but this is exactly what I did. I didn't give a fuck because my mom didn't want me to have that. She prohibited me. My family did not accept me. And the reality is that I guess that my rebelry, it helped me with that. I was probably one of the pioneers that I decided that I'm not going to allow anybody. I guess that part of my personality helped me, but Nowadays, I actually, a lot of people don't know this, but I've been helping so many kids in my entire life. Kids with ADD, ADHD, I help them, and I help them to be with womb regressions, to have better people, better students, to focus. I've been helping a lot of kids with this. But yes, to answer the question, in my specific case was to don't give a F. Now, as a mom, if you have a kid or as yourself, I would recommend you to help your kid to don't give an F about what others think. If you have a kid that is displaying, these gifts, or yourself, if you have that, let me tell you, there's a lot of people, there's a chance that you have all these gifts, you're gifted, and you just need to reconnect with them and start going through that and regain it. And who knows, you might be a healer, you might be somebody that is going to make a difference in this life, if this makes sense. I hope that this answered the question.
Okay, the next question, the person may have to elaborate a bit because they said, so how do we know where to start? If you could please type in the chat so that we know what you're referencing to, if it was the program or if it was something else. So I'm going to move on to the next question until I see the answer.
That goes to Arturo Gaitan. Where to start? Go to arturogaitan.com/womb2. Fill up that form and we'll get back to you and we'll get you your free session. So we will help you to understand that how you're gonna, if you really need to start, or if it's something that you don't need that much, because there's a chance that you might not need any. Does that make sense?
Okay, the next question is, I know too much information, but this must be connected with what is going on with me at different times in my life, right?
Yes. If you see, this is very important. Thank you for sharing that, because let me tell you one thing that actually gets you stuck. Believe it or not, too much information can get you stuck. Do you guys agree? When you have a lot of information and you don't have the time, or you don't balance to bring the practical way to put in practice the information that you have, you can get stuck too, believe it or not. See, a lot of people, even by personality or because they've been programmed that information is the key for success, not really. Because if you're not doing anything with the information, it's not going to happen, or you're doing too little. I know for a fact that there's people with a lot of information that they just need to overcome that thing out of their imprints that stop them from bringing that info into an entire program. You might be a creator, you might be something. So, but it is important that, yes, you understand that you need to bring that information into being practical.
Okay, the next question. What are imprints in relation to spirits?
Okay, for example, imprints in relation with the spirits. Number one, remember, your soul has imprints from whatever past lives. And then you come into a body. And those imprints, for example, what's that word that I always forget? Help me, Francesca, when people are scared. Superstitious. Let's pretend that you have an imprint from any of your family or somebody that scared the crap out of you at some point. And in your genes, you have the imprint of superstitious. Now, superstitious doesn't mean that you're wrong. It means that your channel is more open to connect with the spirits. The question is, what type of spirits you are attracting? Are you attracting the good ones? A lot of people want to just attract like angels and everything that you believe on, and not the bad ones. But what if the imprint is literally related to attract certain spirits? For what? To learn something. You know, for example, let me finalize this with this part with this. When I was little, when I was having nightmares and they tried to get a sleep paralysis or something like that, I discovered a way not just to awake myself, but then I discovered how not to awake myself and go and beat the crap of that spirit. And I do that until nowadays. It's so funny because there is a way to do it. There is a way to actually take control of your dreams and understand more about yourself, about your life, but especially about your soul. Your dreams are key to understand your soul and that connection that you have with the spirits. Some spirits, you are attracting them to make you to grow, to scare the crap out of you in so many different ways so you can become stronger. But if you get stuck, it means that that imprint needs to be removed. Does this make sense?
Okay, next question. Do you work with kids with autism? My son has autism, but feel he is just picking up on energy and a lot to process.
Okay, let me tell you one thing. I never thought that I have some type of autism. As I said earlier, they told my mom that I was retarded. And nowadays, when I did all those tests for ADHD and all that thing, I'm in the far red. In reality, people don't even understand how I can see all these things. And some people say like you might be in the spectrum, but I'm in the red. And kids with autism, it all depends. There is a difference between what I can do with a kid with autism and what they do in the schools. I'm not saying that I will replace what they do, I don't. But there is one thing that I do because I work with kids with autism. In a matter of fact, I did a little work with a kid a long time ago that he's considered right here, I think that is called a savant. What's the correct word to with the right word for that, Francesca?
I think it's savant, if I'm saying it
Savant,
correctly.
yes. It's because kids with autism, they're little geniuses in different fields. They're not the same. So depending of what type of autism the kid has, what I do, I mostly go with reprogramming. The healing for them is not exactly like they're not fully in their consciousness to be one-on-one understanding certain things. But what I discovered that helps them a lot, like helping kids that don't speak to speak better. They didn't used to speak at all, and now they're speaking, is reprogramming and doing healing at subconscious level during the time that they're sleeping. What I mean with this, I create recordings that you can put during the night for them, and their brain is going to start absorbing that and start building up those connections to act in a different way, if that makes sense.
Okay, the next question is, can reprogramming negate what was signed in the soul contract, or does the contract have to be fulfilled?
Okay, so that's a great question, because one of the major things that we need to understand is the soul contract has to do with lessons. And this is what we came to do. If you born with the lesson of being a very emotional person, and a lot of people has the confusion that you need to be very emotional your entire life because that's your soul contract. Well, no. What you came to do to this life is to actually identify that you're a very emotional person and to reprogram that to become a stronger emotionally person. Does this make sense? So in reality, the reprogramming and the healing is part of what we came to do. Thank you. Thank you for I didn't know that we can receive hearts. I just saw the heart, but that's how it works. So we came to overcome, like, let me give you an example. For those people that are fire signs, you know, if you look at the zodiac signs and all these things, and you are a fire sign, and part of being a fire sign is to have a little temper, okay? And then your contract is to actually identify you have the temper, what is causing the temper other than being a fire sign, and then to overcome that, become relaxed. Does this make sense? If you're a water sign, you come with the format of being emotional. Identify, then overcome. so you can succeed and you can gain more for your soul. Or you will thank yourself when it's time to leave the body and go back to where we need to go back, and you're going to be conscious and like, oh, that's great that I identified what I needed to do and I did it, if this makes sense. Okay?
The next question, do we go to the website and wait for a friend to get back to us to see if we qualify, or we go to the website and then we contact Fran?
Oh, you can do either way. If you want to contact Fran, it's going to be better. Why? Because she knows that she's going to go probably like, okay, you are enthusiastic about it. She can just go back and get you your session. Get you your session. Let me tell you, the session is going to be, Fran is going to be, but I'm going to be in the sessions too, which means that either you can have Fran or you can get me. Depends on who awakes earlier. Just kidding. So yeah, I'm going to be helping this time with some of those sessions. Normally Fran is the one in charge of the session. I'm going to be helping with that. So you might have me, or you might have the session with Fran. And if you have some extra questions that are for me, I will open the time for you. So if that makes sense.
That is all of our questions. Oh,
Okay,
hold on. There's one more. One more just popped up. Do we need to do the session if we've worked with you before?
For example, the person, the session for the people that are in some of my programs might not. So I would recommend you to send a text to Francesca. I would recommend you to fill up the form. No matter if you work with me before or not, just fill up the form, okay? And text Francesca and ask her like, do I need to get the session? And she will go into the database and will tell you, oh yeah, or no, it's not necessarily. Is that good? Let me see. I just want to make sure, because I receive a direct messages. I just want to make sure that I'm not skipping any before we leave, okay? There was a tumor in the womb. Of course, I'm not going to say who, but there's a tumor in the womb with me. So my mother took a drug, DES, to get rid of the tumor. I was born 1 month premature. Yes, all those things is part of the soul contract, and sometimes might be already in the program, or it just was like you didn't expect it, but that is affected you to how you're gonna suffer and how you're gonna learn also in this lifetime. Thank you for sharing that. Let me see if I see anything else here. No, it's not. All right, guys. Very, very, very important. And I'm gonna close with this. I'm gonna let you go with this. So a lot of you don't know, but I developed a program. I have over 60 people in something that is called the Healing Day Method. One of my, that is a monster of program. It's a program that covers everything. But with the time we discover that doing more womb regressions are actually speeding up the process of healing to people. I have other modalities, like a time frame for people that has been into a abuse or sexual abuse or a car accident or things like that, that they're subconsciously messing with you, but you don't know. All these different techniques that I am using is helping, but for years that I've been helping other people and that I have that program, I've been testing more and more and more, and it's time for me to bring an update to that program. And if you are interested, during the text or something, ask Francesca to make sure that during your call, or send you the information about that when this is coming. So my purpose is not to create a monster of program, is to create a mega monster. And my purpose is to create a program that will help any human being to heal and reprogram to develop the best version of themselves, to have a better and more balanced life. And so you don't need anything else at some point. And the truth is, we're living in times that even if the country goes to war, if the world goes to war, if the world goes to the city of the fog, it's something you are responsible to do something for yourself. You are responsible to make your life better. Nobody else, not your husband, not your wife, not your kids, not anybody else, not your boss. It is you. You and only you are the one that are responsible for you to be better, to feel better, to achieve happiness. And as I said before, happiness is no other than a consequence. It's not an essential. It's a consequence of what? Of inner peace. And you will never achieve inner peace if there is something getting you stuck, some programs that are letting you know and reminding you how messed up you are. Even that doesn't allow you to think that, am I really messed up? You don't even think, because it's subconscious level. If you're interested, just let her know, because we are starting in, I'm starting with that program in next month, November 6th, every Wednesday, I'm going to be starting with that program. So check it out, get the information if you're interested, and let me know. Otherwise, if you feel that you need any help, here is myself to help with sessions or anytime. But also, I have people that I train. Yes, I train. So far, I train over 30 something people with my methods. So, and in case that you don't like the Mexican guy, or I don't have the time, I can refer you to any of the people that I train that are doing great, that they're so great healers. A lot of them, they're doing really good. Some others, they're doing something else. It doesn't matter, but they are available. Some of them, they're available. I'm available. You can go through that. And again, if you feel that you have a gift and you feel that what I do is something that you would like to do, talk to Francesca too. Let's see if you can qualify for any of the programs. But again, healing and reprogramming program is starting in November 6th. And so request that information. And ArturoGaitan.com/womb2. Fill up the form. We'll go back to you, or send a text message and everything is going to be done. All right. Thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful night. Chingon. And I'm going to put this down on 3, 2, 1. Happy night. Night, night.